Sit back and listen to this extremely interesting story. Chapter 2. Sandy packs for her business trip. The next day, we just stayed at home and sat around the patio enjoying the nice weather. Sandy was wearing her white two-piece bikini, and I was dressed in the same shorts that I was wearing last night before we went out. I only had worn them for an hour and wasn't about to throw them in the hamper just yet. The neighbor from across the street stopped by for a beer and to shoot the breeze, but mostly I think he just wanted flirt with Sandy. She came out on the patio shortly after he arrived and said, "Oh, hi Steve, I saw you were out washing the car in the driveway earlier. Would you like to do mine too?" Steve said he would be happy to help her wash the car if she is willing to do the washing and he gets to rinse. Sandy said, "Yeah, and I'm going to trust you with that hose. You wouldn't spray me with that cold water now, would you?" They joked for a bit and Steve wandered back to his side of the street. Later Bob stopped by and talked Sandy into going shopping with her. So while they were gone, I decided to get the laptop out and surf the web. I decided to do a little research on cheating wives, even though I didn't think Sandy was cheating on me. I wasn't too happy about Sandy mentioning her curiosity though. While searching for my cheating wives, I noticed that there are many sites dedicated to such wives. Then I thought of Sandy's beautiful wife ankle bracelet, so I started looking for sites with that name. Beautiful wives are married women who spend time outside of marriage. They do not consider it a betrayal because the man allows it and even encourages it. Now I'm starting to wonder if Sandy is trying to steer me into this lifestyle, but no, it doesn't sound like her. She said Bob gave her an ankle bracelet. I'm sure Sandy doesn't even know what beautiful wife really means. Hot wives are married women who have sex outside the marriage. They don't consider it cheating because the husband allows it and even encourages it. Now I start wondering if Sandy is trying to lead me into this kind of lifestyle, but no, that wouldn't be like her. She had said Bob had given her the anklet. I bet Sandy doesn't even know what hot wife really means. Over the next few weeks, I started reading more pretty wife stories online and found myself liking them. I would think about how my beautiful wife behaves with other men and how I would handle it. I knew I didn't want to lose her, but I also didn't think I could handle her leaving knowing she would be with someone else. I also wondered if she was trying to steer me into this lifestyle. She seemed to be dressing a little nicer for work than before, and she definitely dressed more daringly when we went out, although she always looked stylish rather than revealing. One night we were watching a movie that was about a woman who was cheating on her husband with a guy she worked with. Sandy was snuggled up on the couch next to me, and we had been having some drinks. She was wearing her light cotton pajamas with little pink hearts. She bought it in the preteen department where she sometimes has an easier time finding things that fit her. I was wearing a pair of cotton jogging shorts. The movie made me think of Big John, and the night we went to the club, I asked her if John was still seeing her at the office. She let her hand touch me. She told me that he had actually been promoted and had to transfer to their office in Colorado. I asked her if she missed the attention he gave her, and she said he was always professional at work. However, he felt he had to make sure she knew how much he wanted to take her out someday. She said he was young, very handsome, big, strong, and very attractive. If I was single, I would have let him take me out, but I'm married to the love of my life, she said. We were silent for a while watching the movie. Then I told her that I love her so much that I would forgive her if she cheated on me. She didn't say anything, but she saw my excitement. There was a small smile on her face that I could tell she was trying not to show. We were silent for a while watching the movie. Then I told her that I love her so much that I would forgive her if she cheated on me. She didn't say anything, but she saw my excitement. There was a small smile on her face that I could tell she was trying not to show. I replied, "Why didn't you tell me this sooner?" I wasn't prepared for this. Even though when she started working for her company, she was told there would be occasions where she would have to travel. "So, I'm sure your buddy John will be happy to see you," I said. Sandy was trying to comfort me, saying, "Alex, this is not my fault. I didn't volunteer to go, and I really don't want to, but I have no choice. And as far as John goes, I am not going to have any kind of a fling behind your back, and he already knows that." Then I said something I shouldn't have. "What are you going to do? Ask me for permission first." I couldn't believe what she said next. "What would you say if I asked permission for to go out with John while I'm away?" Right as she said it, I could feel her hand slide over the front of my shorts. She could feel me slowly getting harder as I answered. "How do you mean let you go out? Do you mean for lunch, dinner, a few drinks, or what?" Then she decided to check my reaction to the next bomb. She said, "What if I asked you to let me go to his bedroom with him?" I didn't answer, but my excitement grew and spoke for itself. Sandy began to please me and said, "This conversation seems to excite you. Do you like the idea of someone else forcing me?" I told her no, it's not like that, but I love her so much that I just want to make her happy. She got a big smile on her face. The very next moment we were spending time together. I could see how excited she was, and I knew she was thinking about getting out of town and being free to be with someone else. I whispered in her ear, "You're a naughty little girl. I think I'm going to have to punish you." Sandy, playing along, said, "Please don't hurt me, Daddy. I'll do anything." I told her to get up and get rid of her clothes. She stood up and obeyed the order. "Get away from him," I ordered. She obeyed and got out of her pajamas. She looked so beautiful that I just wanted to be with her as soon as possible. "Daddy wants you to please him," I ordered. She said, "Please don't spank me, Daddy. I will do whatever you say." I pointed to my knees and she bent over my knees. Then without warning I hit her hard. "No, Alex, not so hard," she cried. My hand came down again and again with a stinging force. Sandy was begging me to stop, and I noticed real tears from her big brown eyes. I punished her a little more until I felt that she was excited. "Please stop, Daddy. You shouldn't be doing that to me," she exclaimed. I let her up and stood in front of her. "Daddy's going to put you to bed," I said. As I lifted her up, she put her head on my shoulder and wrapped her legs around me. I carried her up to the bedroom and laid her on the bed. Sandy said, "What are you doing, Daddy? Please don't hurt me anymore." I told her that would make everything better as I grabbed her ankles and pulled her to me. We had a great time together. I interrupted periodically and made her happy, which made her go crazy. And I was quickly satisfied again. Tuesday we both took the day off so we could spend some time together. I couldn't keep my hands off from her. We decided to fix a picnic lunch and relax at the lake. Sandy wore a T-shirt and a short blue jean skirt that zipped up the back with a button to fasten it. I told her it was a little restrictive. She said she didn't want to attract attention and wanted to enjoy the day with me. I told her that today was a working day and no one would disturb us in the park. Then Sandy said she was fine and ran up the stairs to the bedroom to change a bit. She came back down in a different T-shirt. This one was sleeveless with a large neck opening. It opened all the way to her shoulders, and when she leaned over just slightly, you could look down the front. "How's this look?" she said. All I wanted her to do was take some clothes off, but I didn't want to argue, so I just told her it looked great. She looked great, just went a little further than I expected. I checked her feet. She was wearing brown sandals with no ankle chain. In fact, I've only seen her wear it once since the night I first saw it on her. She wore it to work one morning and hasn't worn it since. I wondered if anyone had said anything to her about it. Anyway, we drove out to the park and found a nice spot to relax by the lake. After we finished lunch, we played a little frisbee. Before long, a couple of young men came over and asked if we wanted to play four-way. Sandy said, "Hell yes, let's have some fun." One of the boys, his name was Dave, kept moving closer to Sandy. I knew he was trying to get a look down her top when she would miss a catch and bend down to pick up the frisbee. I decided to take a break and walk over to the restrooms. When I came back and looked over, they both had their cell phones out. Don't tell me he's giving her his number, I thought to myself. When I walked up to them, he raised his phone up to his ear and was talking to someone. Sandy seemed to be checking her messages. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. It was getting late, and Sandy still needed to pack for her business trip. Her plane leaves at 6:30 in the morning. I had offered to take her to the airport, but she told me that they were being picked up by the company courtesy car. They would also be picked up and taken home when they returned. Her ticket for her return flight was for Sunday morning. I thought this was kind of strange, but she had told me that it would take a half a day Saturday to complete, and the next flight that they could get was for Sunday. We arrived at home at around 3:00 in the afternoon, and Sandy said she wanted to lie out on the patio and soak up some rays. Sandy shouted, "Alex, why don't you fix us a couple of drinks and meet me on the patio?" I went to the kitchen, and Sandy ran to the bedroom to put on a bathing suit. She came down the stairs in a bikini. Her swimwear has always been more conservative than this one. Although she looked pretty when she walked by and saw me staring, she just smiled and went to the patio. I hurried upstairs to put on my shorts and went to the patio with our drinks. I was in a hurry to take a closer look at this swimsuit. She was relaxing in the living room when I gave her a drink and sat down at the table. The bikini was pale blue and appeared to be made of silk. I told her that I liked her new swimsuit, and she said that it was not for swimming, just for tanning. She rolled over on her stomach and asked me to rub some oil on her. I started at her shoulders and moved down her tiny waist. Then, starting with her ankles and calves, slowly working her way up, I splashed oil liberally on her feet and started rubbing them. I moved her waist a little and saw a thin line where she wasn't as tanned as the rest. "How long have you been tanning in that outfit?" I asked. She said, "I bought this 2 weeks ago and I've only worn it on our tanning bed. Don't think I'll be going to the beach in this." I asked, "Why not? You look great in it, and I've seen women who don't like wearing bikinis on public beaches." She turned, smiled at me and said, "Then, if I wanted to go to the beach by myself, or with a friend, you wouldn't have any objection to me wearing this?" "Well," I replied, "I would like to be there to enjoy the view, but if you wanted to go with Barb or some of your friends, I think I would be okay with it." Sandy said, "If I wore this in public, every unmannerly man on the beach would be following me around all day. I think I'd need a bodyguard." With that, I went into the house to make us another cup. When I got up, Sandy couldn't help but notice my excitement over her new bikini and the talk of her wearing it to the beach. After going in for the evening, I fixed another drink and turned on the computer. Sandy was going to take a shower before packing her suitcase. I started looking for stories of women who leave town on business trips and what they do while away from their husbands. I read one where a husband packed beautiful outfits into his wife's suitcase to give her a hint that she could have some fun. It made me want to attack, even though I didn't want Sandy cheating on me. When I finished reading the story, Sandy was already in the bedroom going through her closet. She had her suitcase on a stand, and I could see she had already packed 2 of her best suits for work. Both were slacks, blouse, and suit jacket outfits. Sandy pulled a gray skirt from the closet and a white blouse. "I think I will wear this one tomorrow. It looks good with my black high heels," she said. I watched as she packed her jeans and a couple of shirts, sandals, underwear, and her favorite cotton pajamas. Then she asked me to remind her to pack her makeup and toiletries in the morning. I asked her, "Aren't you going to take anything to wear if you decide to go out to a club or something?" She replied that she didn't think she was going to go out, but if I wanted to pick out something for her to wear, I could. I picked out her sheer black top that she wore to the bar that night and a short black skirt that she kept in the closet. She laughed at me and said, "You don't want me to wear that skirt, do you? How about I wear those white pants I wore with that top last time?" She hung up her skirt again and packed her white pants. I told her if she was going to wear white pants, she better get matching bottoms. Sandy laughed. "Oh, that's right. Those pants can shine through." She went to the chest of drawers, took out some clothes and packed them in her suitcase. I asked her if there was a pool where she was staying, and she said she was told at work that there was. So I asked her if she didn't think she should take a swimsuit in case she felt like going for a swim or sitting in the jacuzzi. She got out her one-piece and said, "This is for if I go for a swim." Then she got out one of her 2-piece bikinis and said, "This is for if I want a tan or hot tub. I'm going to go fix another drink. Do you want one?" I agreed to have another drink, and she went to the kitchen. I found one of her new bikinis in her drawer and put it in her suitcase. It was similar to the blue one she had worn before, very silky, only light pink. I closed her closet and went down the stairs. I decided to have another drink and went out on the patio. Sandy went outside and said she thought she had packed everything except the things that would wait until morning. It was getting late, and we both went to bed knowing we had to get up early. Subscribe to our channel so that your second C gaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.